Modi ji spent an hour and 15 minutes with me. And we had a very free ranging conversation, not limited to politics, not limited to the portfolio. And it just amazed me that a person who is so busy, so, I don't want to use the word burdened, but so many responsibilities on his shoulder, the time he spends with you is with you. That in itself gets you completely committed to that person. And the bell didn't ring once.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. He's not checking his messages, files, nothing.
Completely devoted to the person that he's conversing with. And that is leadership to me. That is commitment to me. And as I said to you, that I am not someone who's governed by this. I'm someone who's governed by this.
I'm going to come to one thing that I've seen many times. You go to temples, you are very spiritual. It's quite clear that it's not the ritual itself. You're totally committed to Hinduism. How do you feel about these attacks on Sanatan Dharma and it being called all kinds of names?
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Something that is the foundation of our existence. Faith in India cannot be separated from our existence. It is an integral part of our DNA. That faith has over centuries and thousands of years spread the notion of what the Prime Minister talks about today. And I was amazed when he coined the G20 presidency in that format. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. One world, one family, one earth. That in essence is the bedrock of our faith. And if someone doesn't decry that, someone wants to destroy that, that to me is evidence of someone who wants to destroy our civilization and the essence of our civilization. And this alliance that you talk about, look at the opportunism. The people who want to talk about Bharat Jodo are silent on this. Not a single comment.
You went to St. Stephen's, Stanford, Harvard. These are all liberal arts places. It's not even centrist. There is more a left liberal lobby which is working there. There seems to be this whole anti-BJP and anti-Modi especially narrative which has stemmed from those universities and the media and the ecosystem there now. So, and that's becoming louder and more assertive.
See, when you are in an echo chamber, like this one.
Not an echo chamber.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So when you're in an echo chamber and when you are unfortunately not exposed to what the reality on the ground is, then you may come up with certain notions. Notions that are not based on fact. Right? And therefore, and when you realize that the reality is different, then those notions do get dispelled. Now, in as much as there is this lobby that you talk about, there is a far greater lobby that believes in the leadership of Prime Minister Modi in the world. There's a far greater lobby that is looking to him no longer for leadership in India, no longer for leadership in the global south, but looking to him for leadership on a worldwide basis. And the G20, whether it was in Bali or whether it was the G20 in India, is clear evidence of that. COVID is clear evidence of that. Name me one country that was never on the technology curve, that has, in a time of human calamity, produced 2 vaccines and not only produced 2 vaccines, but with a 140 crore population, looked at not only inoculating its own population, but through Vaccine Maitri, inoculating people in 100 countries across the world. Everyone was raising their walls. And again, rightfully so. I'm not grudging any country for doing so.
Sure.
Right? And you had an India that lowered all her walls and in fact, in a time of need, also reached out to the world. Now, why did that happen? Leadership of PM Modi. Operation Ganga. 25,000 of our students in Ukraine, we sent our planes out. 90 sorties were carried out by our civil aircraft. Almost about 60 sorties by the IAF. We did not bring back only Indian citizens.
Yeah, Bangladesh and
we brought
Nepal,
back citizens from across the world.
Afghanistan, yes.
Across the world.
Yeah.
Did any other country, and there were other citizens also stuck in Ukraine, did any other country, and I don't want to name any country, but did any other country send even a single plane? Mm-hmm. We opened up what were domestic airports in the neighboring countries to
facilitate those students.
To facilitate our international aircraft coming in.
Okay.
And I have to thank the leadership of those countries. And that has only been possible due to PM Modi. Right? So, today the world is also looking towards him and through him to India. Never ever before has the world occupied the center stage of international politics plus business. It is no longer a China plus one strategy. It is now an India strategy.
Interesting.
Never could you or I ever dream that Airbus would set up a manufacturing facility in India. Today we've ordered 56 aircraft, 16 are coming from their facility in Spain, 40 are going to be produced in Vadodara in a joint venture with Tatas. Never could you or I ever think that our Chandrayaan would get supplanted on the south pole of the moon. So, to use something that we've grown up watching on TV, but to use that cliched euphemism, if you will, India's going where it has never gone before.
Star Wars. Of course you'd say that. Okay, let me come to your portfolio now that we've talked about airports. 74 airports in 7 years. Minister, we're going to run this tweet of the former finance minister, Mr. Chidambaram, who lashed out at your party and your claims and calling them fake and hollow. So here's the tweet. The claims of the government that they built 74 airports in the last 7 years are hollow and untrue. Only 11 new airports were built since 2014, which are operational. The 74 airports include 9 helicopter stations and 2 waterdromes. The waterdromes closed down after the inauguration. Out of the 74 airports, 15 are no longer in use because there are no flights. The BJP NDA government launched 479 new routes, quote. Out of these, 225 are no longer in operation. Each scheme of the government can be exposed as partly true and mostly false. Boast and exaggeration are the hallmarks of the present government. What do you have to say to that? I know you clarified. Mr. Rijuju also said after that.
There are some people, as I mentioned earlier in our conversation, there are some people who, having been in opposition for close to 10 years, believe that they must always wear the opposition hat, even to the detriment of our country. Why? Because I'm in opposition. Even if there's something good happening, I've got to pull it down. हिंदी में कहावत है कि कई ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो अपनी लकीर लंबी खींचने के बजाय में दूसरे की लकीर को मिटाने में लगते हैं, और ये उसी का उदाहरण है.